It is no secret that around the world, health systems are challenged in meeting the escalating demand for health services with shrinking budgets. Thankfully, though, many innovators and entrepreneurs are investing a great deal of time and money into developing game-changing health technology solutions to alleviate these pressures. In fact, in Canada, hundreds of novel medical technologies enter the market every year. But the reality is that a majority of these innovations are not reaching the patients who need them the most. Why? Well, there are major barriers that innovators face when it comes time to take their technology to the market. One of these barriers is the evidence barrier. The average innovator knows that they need to have a license from regulators like Health Canada and the FDA in order to sell their technology. Getting this license is usually straightforward. You show proof that the technology is safe and does what you claim it to do, and you obtain regulatory approval. However, this is hardly enough to satisfy a payer's requirements. Think about this. Under significant fiscal pressure, most purchasers, like hospitals, are looking for proof that a new technology can decrease costs as well as provide significant value to patients, and they also want to know how it compares with current solutions in the market. They also want to be sure that their staff can properly use it. Now, let's say an innovator does have the information to show that their technology works, is cost-effective, and is better than the current standard of care. There are still many barriers to getting the technology to health systems and patients because the innovation is so novel, so different from the status quo. For example, administrators need help to understand how to budget and plan for the technology. How many units are needed? Where is the money coming from? A hospital can't just buy a new technology if a budget is unavailable. Another challenging example can be that no fee code exists to allow for the use of this technology to be tracked and paid. So why would a clinician use a new procedure if they can't get paid for their time? Innovators will also face resistance to changing behavior from health professionals that require training to use the technology and patients that might not want to change their routines. Since these issues become prevalent after millions of dollars and many years are spent on developing these technologies, there are often not enough resources left for companies to tackle these adoption barriers. Even if money and time weren't issues, innovators are just not equipped to be navigating these issues alone. As a result, innovators and their solutions get stuck in a commercialization valley of death. So, how can the Excite program help you avoid this valley of death and reach the health system and patients faster? Excite connects you with payers, regulators, and renowned academic researchers who work with you on building a robust evidence package. We call this the Excite Evidentiary Bundle, which includes data from a clinical trial, an economic analysis, a systematic and comparative effectiveness review, and a human factors review. By connecting with these stakeholders, you will know upfront what factors need to be considered when entering the market. Second, we'll interview target end users and healthcare providers to determine the ideal conditions to have your innovation adopted into the health system. At the end of the program, you'll be able to take all this data and feedback and significantly streamline the path to bring your technology to the local Ontario market and beyond. So, how does the Excite program work? In brief, there are 4 phases to the program. The application phase, during which expert committees will weigh in on the potential of the innovation to greatly improve patient outcomes or produce substantial cost savings. Included in these committees are representatives from government, clinicians, and health industry leaders. The consultation and design phase, during which our academic research centers will consult with you and representatives from the health system to design the clinical trials and studies needed to create the Excite Evidentiary Bundle. We will also work with you and the Ontario Health System to develop an implementation plan to streamline how the technology could be adopted by interviewing key stakeholders. The evaluation phase is when your innovation will actually be put to the test with patients in real time. If the evaluation shows it is of value to the Ontario Health System, it moves to the adoption phase, taking advantage of the Ontario market with its 14 million patient population and a $50 billion purchaser of health products and services. Building evidence in Ontario will give you trusted results that you can take to global markets, especially when, as part of the Excite process, the US and UK can proactively be involved in the formative stages of designing your study based on their decision-making needs. Applying to the Excite program is free and can be done quickly if you have a disruptive technology that is market-ready, a solid business plan, some early clinical evidence showing your innovation has been tested with a small sample of real patients, and funds to finance the execution of the studies. To find out more about Excite and some possible sources of funding, please visit our website.